YouTube, welcome to Curious Me channel. I'm Shabazz Khan, and in this screencast, I'm going to be talking about making services and doing asynchronous calls, also known as Ajax calls. So, for doing that, we have very basic steps. First of all, we need a web API. Secondly, we need to create a class. In third step, we'll create a service, and in fourth step, we'll display all the data that is fetched. So without wasting our time, let's just switch over to Visual Studio Code. Okay guys, so now we are in Visual Studio Code and we will start from where we left off in my previous video. And for those of you who don't know what we did in our previous video, the links are in the description down below. So we first for our first step, we need some dummy data because we will just imitate the response sent by a web API. So let's just go to google.com and I'll just say, what can I say? Dummy JSON data. That's it. I'm gonna say something here, and from here you can download the JSON data. I'm gonna say name, age, and all these things. I'm gonna say generate, and it will generate this a very epic. I'll copy to clipboard. Now I'll go here, create a new folder inside app, and I will name it dummy data. And inside that dummy data, I'll add a new file and I'll name it, okay, not dummy data, let's name it web API response.json. Please forgive me if I write somewhere wrong spelling because I'm not very good with spellings. Web API response.json. Okay, now just paste this. What I can say is I can say here Harry. Let me just manipulate the data so that it is distinguishable. For example, Harry, Ron. Okay, so now I have manipulated the data. I have given name Harry, talent is magic, name is Ron, talent is stupid, Hermione cute, Malfoy a-hole, and I'm assuming that all my viewers are above 18 years of old, 18 years of age, I'm sorry, and if you're not, please close your ears. So Voldemort is a bigger a-hole. So this is my JSON response and I'll just save it. Simple as that. So with that, we completed our very first step, that is the web response from a web API. Now for the second part of this video, we'll have to create a class. So let's just switch to Visual Studio Code. Now let's create another folder name, sorry, not here. In app, I'm creating another folder. I'm gonna name it classes, and in here I'll add a new file, and in that file I'll write the name get list dot, not capital L, get list dot ts. This is my class. I will say export class get, not get list, I'll say just simple list. So this is the class list and I'll write name string, then class string, and then I'm going to say talent is also string. Simple as that. Now that we have our class, let's move on to the third part. So that now we have created a class, let's go ahead and create a service. So this is the most important part and it is also very tricky, so let's give it a little more time. Okay, so let's just move to Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let's to make a service, create a folder, not here, once again I'm doing the same mistake, and name that folder services. Simple as that. Now in services, add a file, we get list dot service, just to distinguish that this is a service. So in service, instead of importing component, we will import injectable. That's it. Now, instead of writing at the rate component, we will also write at the rate injectable. And then down below, we will write export class. Whatever you want to give the name of the class, I'll say get list. And then inside, I'll use something. So first I'll import http, just a minute, http. So this is the library that deals with all the http requests. I'm gonna say response also. Now that we have imported all these things, I think I have to import observables also. So now we will import observables from our get. Now, yeah, that's pretty much it. So okay, one more thing we will need to import is our double dot slash classes slash the name of our class, that is get list without the file extension. So I'll just say get list, that's it. And just go in here, press control in here, press control shift, and it shows me the list because I have exported it in there. So now that I have imported everything, let's just start with call the function that will actually get the data from the web API, which we are mimicking through the dummy data. So let's create a constructor and do our dependency injection stuff. Constructor, and here I'll say private http. This will be my private variable, and in here I'll just load all the methods from http. Now what I'll do is I'll do this dot http. You know why? Because I can access this http right here. So before that, let's create a function and name that function get user list, and let's name, and the return type of that function will be observable an array of list. Simple as that. Now inside this function, we will place this .http, and I'll place here return this .http. Now I'll use the get function, and in that get function I'll put the URL of the dummy data, which is like app/.json. Simple as that. Now what I need to do is, once I get this data, I'll map this data from our response r.json. That's it. Now that we have created our service, the next thing is to define the service in app_module.ts. We'll just go to app_module.ts and say import something from where /. What is the name of our folder? The name of our folder is services. Now in services, the name is get list. Do I have capital? No, smaller. So get list dot service. That's it. No file extension. Get list dot service. Now control shift, and it will give me the exported file, which is get list. Now remember, whenever we import a service, we'll have to define a providers. Define providers. Okay, so I'll just define my provider as get list. Simple as that. The third part of our video is also completed. So now that we have created a service, let's move on and use that service to display the data that we fetched. Now here we have the data. Now what I'll do is I'll just go to app component.ts. Yeah, and in here I'll import that service which we define from dot slash classes slash get list. That's it. List. Now let's go ahead and import from. Okay, let's just copy it from here and paste it here. Now we have our service, we have our list. Only one thing to do. One more thing I'll import is on init. Okay, so that now we have imported this ng on init. We will use this ng on init right here. Okay, so let's use that ng on init function, but before using that, let us create our constructor. And I'll just do a dependency injection here. So let us call that ng on init function, and it will return void. Okay, so what I'll do is whenever this app initializes, I'll just call this dot get user list, and the function that we have defined in get list here, this function get user list, will now be available to this variable get user list, and this variable get user list will now get the user list. Sorry, the two names are very similar, so I think I should just change it to get list. Get list. Okay, now get user list. So what happens, what I'll do next is I'll just subscribe. Why I'm subscribing is, see, when this call happens, okay, so this call will happen asynchronously, right? So this subscribe will not execute until and unless this get user list function brings in the data or finishes its execution. So once this finishes its execution, then only this will kick in. So let's subscribe. Let's take in R, write a quick short lambda function, this dot. Okay, first of all, let's quickly define list of users here, and this will be type get list. Okay, not get list, it will be of type list array, and that is a null array right now. So that's it. This dot list of users, okay, equals to R. What this means is once this function is done executing, so it will bring a data R. Okay, get that data and assign that data to this list of users. That's what this means. So once you get this R, assign this value, all the values inside R, to the list of users. Okay, so now we have that data from the service onto a variable in app component. Okay, so now what we will do is we will display all those details. So in order to display all those details, what I'll do is I'll go to body, list view body.html here. So what I'll do here is I'll create a table very quickly. Okay, let's use shorthand. I'll write table tr, and then td, and then into 3 hit tab, and it will create a table. Okay, so now go to list body. Here will we have imported input, so I'll write at the rate. This will be of type that I'll import. This is the list. Okay, it says that I cannot get there. Okay, man, look and see if you can get there now. Yes. Now the list will be of type. Let's remove this from here. This will be of type list and array. Simple as that. Okay. And I'll say this is nothing for now. Now let's go in here. We'll use this and also an ngFor. By the way, this is the @input tag. With I'll use it in app component and I'll explain you then. Okay. So in tr, what I'll say is I'll use the ngFor. Now I'll use interpolation. I'll say item dot name, and I'll say item dot age. And in a similar fashion, I'll say item dot talent. Okay, so now that we have used this, let's go back to app component, and in this list view body, what I'll do is I have used this. I'll just copy it, go here, and just say take this as an input and assign this as a value. So what this basically means that when you load this data, when you get this data, okay, search for this input value in list view body. So it will go to list view body and assign this list of users value to this list of users that we have created. Okay, so this is the list of users that will get the value coming from this, which in turn is coming from this function, right? So this basically means that this tag is used for when a parent component needs to communicate to a child component. Simple as that. This data will come here and we will use this data and populate our table using a ngFor directive. Simple as that. So with that, I guess we have completed our fourth and final final part of our video. So let's go through all of these once again. Okay, let's go ahead and npm start. So this will start the server and it will load all these files and it will open the browser with all the changes that we have done till now. Okay, it says all these things connected to component, blah blah blah. Okay, it also throw an error. Let's see what the error is. Simple as that. Dot map is not a function. Okay, got it. So it says that map is not a function. Where is that map? Let's just go and see where is this map. This map. So we need to import it. I guess this is the path where we get the map. So I'll just save it and let's just hope that it works. Okay, so it is on. So it is displaying home. Now when I click on list view, it should show me the list. So let's just click on list view. It shows the list of all the Harry and all those things. Now why is it not displaying the talent? Let me just tell you why it is not displaying the talent is because in here we have talent with small t, I guess. Yeah. So we just have to do one correction over there. We'll just go to listviewbody.html, come here and just do as small t, then build it. I think it should display the talent now. Okay, got the list view body.html. Now when I click on list view, yeah. So that is one of the way, one of many ways we can make a service and use it for an asynchronous call. So we created API, we created class, we created a service, and then displayed the data fetched using @input. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and please do subscribe because I'll be back every weekend with a brand new video. And also have a great day ahead.